Okay, let's proceed on the key powers of the Philippine President. Based on the Administrative Code of 1987 or Executive Order 292, it grants the President the following powers. So first power of the President based on this Administrative Code of 1987 or EO 292, the President has the power of appointment. So the President can appoint government workers and official to work in the government or different agency in the government. That is why in every incoming administration, especially for the new administration of the president is given the power to appoint his cabinet secretary in different department or agency in the government because that is part of the power given to the president, no, as mandated on the law based on the Administrative Code of 1987. First, we have power of appointment. Part of the power of the president is the ordinance power. So, the president can issue pieces of legislation directing the executive branch operation. That is why the president can also implement laws, no, through executive orders. So, that is part of the power of the president is the so-called ordinance power. So may mga batas po na ipinapatupad mula sa Office of the President na kung saan ito ay sa pamamagitan ng executive order. So meaning to say, ordinance po yan na direktang mandato galing sa opisina ng Pangulo. So the President is allowed, no? The President is allowed to do that as cited in the Administrative Code of 1987. So, pwede siyang magpatupad ng mga batas or magdeklara ng mga holidays or important celebrations through pieces of legislation sa pamamagitan ng executive order. Then, the President can, as part of his power based on Administrative Code of 1987, can he has the power of general supervision over local governments. So the president can supervise and can coordinate directly with the local government unit dito sa ating bansa. So bahagi po 'yan ng kanyang kapangyarihan that the president is allowed to connect directly coordinate and directly connect with other local government unit in the whole uh, in the whole country. Then the president has power over aliens. If the president can decide important immigration issues. So kay kung may mga foreign nationals na ipapadeport, no? And provided ng foreign nationals na yan ay may nilabag na mga batas dito sa ating bansa that is subject for deportation with authority and power of the president, the that the president will sign, no, deportation issue with that particular foreign national. So bahagi po yan ng kanyang kapangyarihan. The president has the power over aliens or foreign nationals. Then the office of the president has also the power of eminent domain and is chief seizing private property for public use. So kapag mayroong mga proyekto ang office of the president that they will purchase that particular land because there is a intended government projects na ipapatayo for that particular land at uh, yung lupang iyan at first ayaw pong ibenta, mandato po ng government, no, ng gobyerno na they have this power of eminent domain, especially kung ang kanilang uh, yung kanilang pagbili ng lupang iyan ay para sa pagpapatayo ng mga programa proyekto ng pamahalaan, wala po tayo magagawa po dyan. We can seize private property because if that if that land is for public use, for the benefit of everybody, for the benefit of the Filipino people, for the benefit of the public, then it is allowed by the law. It is allowed in the Constitution. So they have this power of eminent domain. That is why kapag merong mga road widening, no, and then yung bahay mo ay naigo, no, nagiba yung bahagi ng iyong bahay because of the road widening, huwag ka na lang magreklamo dahil meron silang kapangyarihan to do that, especially kung yung pagrason ng paggiba ng bahagi ng iyong bagay ay kabilang sa tinatawag na road widening, no? So they can seize private property if that is the intention of the government. Power over ill-gotten wealth, sequester and freeze assets ill-gotten by corrupt leaders during the Marcos dictatorship. Ito po ay isinali sa ating saligang batas, sa ating konstitusyon dahil alam naman natin yung 1987 Philippine Constitution ay naiamba na nagawa po yan nung panahon ni Pangulong Cory. So, ito ay isinali din po sa kapangyarihan ng Pangulo na ang Pangulo ay may karapatan, no, to freeze assets, no, na bawiin yung mga pinaniwalaang mga nakaw na yaman ng dating administrasyon. At alam naman natin na nung panahon ni Pangulong Marcos, they rule our country for almost 20 years at may maraming mga nagsasabi, no, based on the facts, based on the fact finding group by the Cory administration, may mga nakaw na yaman daw ang mga pamilyang Marcos na gustong bawiin ng pamahalaan ni Pangulong Cory na alam naman natin na base sa kanilang pag-imbestiga, may mga nakaw na yaman daw ang mga pamilyang Marcos na galing mismo sa pagmamay-ari ng pamahalaan. That is why this particular power is included in our Constitution, power over ill-gotten wealth, as one of the key powers of the Philippine President as mandated by the Administrative Code of 1987, Executive Order 292. Noong panahon po ito ni Pangulong Cory Aquino. Why is the presidency important in the government? So if you're running for the position of president, these are the following qualifications na dapat mong sundin. So if you're planning for the position of president, so you must be a natural born Filipino citizen, no? Kailangan yung magulang mo ay dugong Pilipino at syempre dito ka ipinanganak sa ating bansa, no? Yung magulang, both of your parents are pure-blooded Filipino and syempre natural born dito ka pinanganak din sa ating bansa. Then you must be a registered voter, then able to read and write during the election. You must at least 40 years of age, and then you must be a resident for the Philippines for 10 years immediately preceding the election. So ito po yung 5 qualifications na nakasaad po sa ating saligang batas o sa ating konstitusyon sa 1987 Philippine Constitutions if you are planning to run for the position of the president. So ang termino po ng presidente, so the president is directly elected by the people. So ito po ay pinagbabasihan na galing talaga sa eleksyon. So kung sino makakakuha ng pinaka-highest number of vote based on the result of the election, meaning to say, ito ang binigyan ng mga mamayang Pilipino ng mandato para maging susunod na pangulo ng ating bansa. Yung term of office ng presidente, isang term, 1 term, equivalent to 6 years. So, isang termino lamang sa loob ng 6 na taon with no re-election. So, magsisimula yung kanyang pananungkulan, 12, no? It will begin at noon, 12 noon of June 30. At magtatapos din po ito June 30 din po, after 6 years of his term. 12 noon din po, same date after 6 years. So the president is banned for any re-election. So one term is equivalent to 6 years with no re-election. Then, the president's term, in case of death, permanent disability, removal from office, or resignation, automatically the vice president would be the one to succeed the president if these particular situations would occur or would happen. If the vice president succeeds a president for 4 years, the VP will not be qualified for the presidency again. So ito po ay nangyari nung panahon ni Pangulong Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. So alam naman natin na si GMA ang naging pangulo ng ating bansa noong taong 2002 after President Joseph Ercito Estrada was forced to step down the position of the president the the EDSA People Power 2, and with the ongoing impeachment trial against President Erap or President Estrada. So because of that, President Estrada was forced to leave the position of the president, and at that time, yung kanyang vice president ay si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and that is why immediately, since President Erap stepped down to the position of president, so yung nag-succeed sa kaniyang posisyon bilang presidente ay yung kanyang VP na si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. At yung nag-succeed naman sa iniwang posisyon ni GMA as Vice President, since na-move siya sa President, yung kanyang Vice President na posisyon, hindi ito tinanggap ng Senate President, bagkos yung tumanggap sa posisyon ng Vice President ang House Speaker nung mga panahong iyon, si Jose de Benicia. So, ang naging presidente noong 2002 to 2004 ay si Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, habang yung Vice President naman ay si Vice President Jose de Benicia. So, if a VP succeeds a president for 4 years, yung ginawa ni Pangulong Gloria, tinapos lamang ni Pangulong Gloria yung nalalabing termino ni Pangulong Erap. So, hindi yun nakaabot ng 4 na taon na pag-succeed sa posisyon ng president. That is why, during the 2004 presidential election, he was allowed by the COMELEC to run again for the position of the president. So, dahil yung kaniyang pagiging pangulo ay nag-succeed siya sa posisyon ng president, hindi yun nakaabot ng 4 years. So, meaning to say, since hindi yun nakaabot ng 4 years, tinayagan siya ng COMELEC to run for the position of the president. So, the VP cannot serve for more than two consecutive terms. So, ito po yung maging line of succession. So, President, VP, Senate President, House Speaker. So, ganun po yung succession. Then, the President or the Vice President as the two highest position of the government may be removed from their respective office through impeachment proceedings or impeachment trial. So, sino ba ang magpapatawag ng impeachment? Siyempre, yung Congress. Yun, yung nasa legislative branch of the Philippine government, both the upper and the lower house, the Philippine Congress. So, the Congress can impeach the President or Vice President based on the following charge. The ground for impeachment are based on culpable violation of the Constitution, in which yung magiging basihan ng impeachment case ng Congress ay kailangan nakasentro sa mga following na reason. It should be based on treason, bribery, graft, and corruption. So kung may nakitang paglabag ang president or vice president based on this particular reason, no, dito treason, bribery, graft, and corruption, pwedeng magkaroon ng impeachment case against the president or vice president. Kailangan merong ebidensya, no, matibay na ebidensya, katibayan na ipipresenta ang Philippine Congress sakaling there will be an impeachment trial against the president or vice president or other high crimes or betrayal of public trust. So ito po ay makikita po natin sa ating saligang batas in Section 2, Article 11 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution as grounds for impeachment for a president or vice president. So, meron tayong, let's try to talk, especially during the past administration, the Duterte administration. So, during the Duterte administration, it was known for a populist leadership and authoritarian policies that devalue the country's liberal democratic institution. So, during that time, Duterte won under a campaign platform, no, bahagi po ng kaniyang plataforma that he will end the corruption, the criminality, and illegal drugs in the country. So doon po nakasentro, nakafocus yung kaniyang platforms na palagi niyang sinasabi, no, sa kaniyang mga kampanya na if he will be given the chance to become the next president, na he will try to solve the problems in these particular issues. Then, the Duterte administration populist popularity, Duterte activated people's anxiety about drugs and successfully turned into a security crisis instead of a medical issue. So, Duterte represents Filipinos' disappointment. So, yung pagkahalal daw ni Pangulong Duterte, ito daw ay dahil sa napakatagal ng disappointment ng mga Pilipino na kung saan nung mga panahong iyon, ang mga Pilipino daw decided to have a new brand of politics na they want, no, to end the EDSA people power inspired reformism. Thus, their willingness to embrace a deeply disparate measures like violence and authoritarianism rule of government. So the Filipinos willing to accept such kind of leader kahit yung leader na kanilang pipiliin ay gagamit ng kamay na bakal or violence or autocratic kind of management or leadership. So, siguro according sa mga political expert or mga political analysts that the Filipinos are desperate in this particular time because they wanted to have a new brand of politics, which is nakita nila with Rodrigo Duterte. The policies of the Duterte administration are said to have endangered nation and state building and democratic rights despite people's support and approval. According to United Nations Office of the Commission on Human Rights, there were 8,663 extrajudicial killings and hundreds of human rights violations during the Duterte administration. Na ito din ang ilan sa mga issue na pinupukol for the Duterte administration. Yung war on drugs ni Pangulong Duterte, no, yung negative aspect of that particular campaign or that particular program, yung sinasabi ng iba na nagkaroon daw ng talamak na extra judicial killings at ito din ay pinag-usapan nung nakaraang Quadcom hearing, especially on the issues of the former administration during the Duterte administration. If kayo ay nanonood ng TV, no? Pinag-usapan din po yan. So that's the end of part 1 of lesson 6.